family and friends. I hope all is well. So, for today's story, will Russia nuke NATO? That is a really good question. So, let's dive in right into this article. This article is actually, I believe, it's older, probably like around May. Sorry, not May, sorry, February. So, yeah. So, let's get started. Russian President Vladimir Putin won't rule out excuse me, can't talk. Won't rule out using nuclear weapons if Russia faces an existential threat. I can't pronounce that word. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said Tuesday in an interview with CNN. Putin previously hinted that the nuclear option was on the table when he said in his televised address announcing the invasion on February 24th that the consequences for any nation attempting to interfere will be such as you have never seen in your entire history. 3 days after the invasion began, Putin ordered Russia's nuclear forces to high alert status. Russia has an arsenal of over 6,000 nuclear warheads. Yeah, if you guys didn't know, Russia actually has the most nukes in the world. They do. They have the biggest nuclear arsenal in the world. And man, let's just say they have more than enough capability to nuke just nuke whoever they want when they want. They could do it, but will they? That's the question. So, as you guys probably don't know or know, with the whole thing with Ukraine and Russia, we know that there's a war going on. So, hopefully I can condense it down so whoever's not aware of it. So, pretty much after the Soviet Union fell apart, Russia told NATO, right, that do not get close to our border because if you get close to our border, we consider that a threat. Simple. But NATO has been moving closer to Russia, so a lot of other European countries have joined NATO, right? So the ones that are on the border, like the Baltic states, Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania, they became NATO, so they're right on the border. I guess Russia gave them a pass. Was like, all right, fine, whatever. And then NATO is starting to put missile systems in like Romania, Poland, stuff still close to the border, right? They said, don't come close to our border with any of that stuff, man. That's You're provoking us. Knock it off. And apparently there was an agreement too, saying, okay, NATO said, okay, we will not come close to your border with these missile systems and all this other kind of stuff. We're going to stay put. But over the decades, it being closer, 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 and finally Ukraine. And so I guess Ukraine was the last straw. I wonder why they didn't do nothing before. I wonder why Russia didn't do anything before. That's me personally. But apparently Ukraine was the last straw. Now I don't know why it was the last straw. I really don't know. So, pretty much that is I would say, well, yeah, that's a condensed version of it. But I just don't know why they chose now, because if it was such that big of a deal, why not deal with the Baltic states when they got NATO membership? Why Ukraine now? And we know 2014, or if you didn't know 2014, there was a coup. At first, there was a Russian puppet in Ukraine, and then in 2014, a NATO puppet pretty much came in, right? So that's what they have now, and so there's a potential. We don't think so. Well, we don't know. There's a chance that Ukraine might be able to join NATO, but that's still in the air. But once again, if Ukraine joins NATO, what does that mean? What is the NATO doctrine? The NATO doctrine is if one country gets hit or attacked, all the countries gang up on that one country that attacked them, or countries who attacked them. So if one country gets attacked, that's the equivalent of all of them getting attacked, and they will attack the aggressor, right? So, but Ukraine is not in NATO, so that's why when Russia attacked, everyone said they're going to do things, but only a certain amount of countries are doing things. That's why everyone didn't just bomb the hell out of Russia, right? Because they don't have the pact. Ukraine doesn't have the pact, the NATO pact, because they're not a member, right? So they have a Western puppet in Ukraine, and for whatever reason, Putin, like I said, I don't know. There's some speculation about some type of the biolabs out there, where I guess possibly. I don't know if this is true or not. Once again, I can't show you guys proof on here, but some people are speculating that there were, biolabs that, well, we know for a fact there were biolabs in Ukraine. We know that, right? That were run by the Americans. So we know that, but we don't know what they were actually used for. Were they used for legit cool means, or were they, medicine and whatever, or were they used for biological warfare? And at least from what the Russians are saying, that's what they think, but who knows? And the other reason why Putin said was because of neo Nazis, right? And they definitely have neo Nazis there. They have a whole battalion full of neo Nazis. So we do know that. But is that a reason to invade the whole country? I don't know. So once again, I wonder if we will know the real reason. I have a feeling we don't know the real reason, But obviously it was he felt threatened. He felt that his country was an immediate threat. That's the only time he would invade another nation. Because Putin, he's not the person that just does stuff just to do it, right? So, will they use nuclear weapons on NATO? Because they're not going to use nuclear weapons against Ukraine in the sense of during the battles and skirmishes, they're just going to send a tactical nuke. No, that makes zero sense. Why would they do that? That doesn't benefit anyone. That doesn't even benefit them. That's just like a waste, right? But if NATO actually comes in officially with their jets and with their artillery and their tanks, then at least from what he's saying, if they're facing an existential threat, what did he say? For any nation attempting to interfere will be such as you have never seen in your entire history. So there's only one country that actually got nuked, which was Japan, right? Every other country has been nuke free. So this is in the same conversation, him talking about nukes. And he's talking about, hey, guess what? There's going to be a first for you in your country. So I imagine any country who does that, he's going to nuke them. He's going to send a tactical nuke their way. That's just my personal opinion. I could be 100% wrong. But he's not playing games, people. He's not playing games. And so let's just go to this other article over here. And this was actually, I believe, yesterday. And I thought it was already loaded. Awesome. So, yes. So I believe this article came out yesterday or 2 days ago. Very recent. So basically, Russia just tested their new ICBM. So they just pretty much tested their new intercontinental missile. Awesome. And this is their new one too. This is not even an old one. This is a new one they're doing their final test on, and by the end of the year it should be up and running. So they're not playing games, man. They're not playing games. Let's just put it that way. They're serious. If they have to nuke you, they will. But I'm pretty sure if the tide is turned, not by the Ukrainian military, but by NATO, actually other countries actively participating, they're going to do it. They're going to do it. Now, what Russia has done is caught weapons going into Ukraine to fund it, because that's what the countries are saying now. They're not going to send their troops or their hardware in, but they're like, okay, Ukraine, we'll give you guys weapons and stuff. And Russia's like, dude, not cool. You can't do that. What are you doing? It's like that's the equivalent of pretty much starting a war. Seriously, that's pretty much what it is. Like, you're funding the enemy. Guess what? That means you're the enemy too if you're funding the enemy. And so, but so far they haven't nuked NATO, but they've been attacking those supply lines between NATO and Ukraine though. So we do know that. And what's interesting about this nuclear missile right here is that, or it has the capability to be nuclear. This thing goes far, and I'm pretty sure a lot of nukes could go far. A lot of these intercontinental missiles could go far. But look at this, people. Look at this. See, it starts right here. This Cosmodome. And all the way over here to the end of Russia. So this thing, you know how big Russia is? As you guys can see. This thing is massive. Just think about it. From literally one end to the other end. So guess what? If they want to nuke that bad boy, they're gonna nuke you into oblivion, and they'll find you anywhere. You can't hide from that bad boy. You can. Guess what? It could go anywhere. It could literally go anywhere. And so yeah. So just going back to it, going back to the article. 3 days after the invasion began, Putin ordered Russia's nuclear forces to high alert status. Russia has an arsenal of over 6,000 nuclear warheads. So he put them on high alert. So that means they're ready. That means I'm not going to say they have their finger on the trigger or the button, whatever like that, but they're ready. They're gearing up. They're putting their helmets on. They're getting their gear ready. At any time, he could call a strike in. So this is a big deal, people. This is a big deal. Man, I'm trying to have kids. I'm trying to get married. Man, I ain't trying to have no nuclear war right now, man. Come on, man. For real. So, NATO, knock it off. Seriously. Y'all been poking the bear for decades. The bear finally bit back, and now everyone's crying about it. Once again, do I think Russia should invade it? I don't know the real reason. That's the thing. I don't know the real reason why they invaded. So I can't say. I can't say because I don't know the real reason. And so, but it's very sad. Obviously, it's collateral damage, civilians dying. It's not fun. It's not cool. War is not cool. As you guys know, I'm a veteran. War is not fun. It's not cool. All these LARPers going over there. I'm going to fight for Ukraine and getting shot up and stuff. It's like, really, was it worth it? Was it worth it? Anyways, that's all I got, people. As always, stay safe. Assalamu alaikum. Rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.